Welcome to a profound journey through time, as we explore the deepest ancient mysteries of our world. Here, at this very moment, the rigid boundaries of secular history and ancient scripture finally meet together. For many generations, we have been taught a singular narrative regarding the origin of all living things. To walk with us through every mystery of the ancient past, follow Tiny Seed Bible now, and never miss a single cinematic revelation. We are told that dinosaurs belonged to a prehistoric world that existed many millions of years ago, that mankind and these giant, terrible lizards were separated by a vast and impassable chasm of time. A massive gap that supposedly kept these two distinct worlds apart for many eons of human history. But what if the fossil record itself tells a completely different story than the one we know? A story that aligns perfectly and beautifully with the literal record found within the Holy Bible today. Today, we will peel back the thick layers of modern tradition and scientific dogma to find truth. We shall examine the incredible mystery of when giants truly walked upon the earth with mortal men. The entire conflict begins with how we choose to measure the ticking clock of our Earth's history. One side claims billions of years of slow, random evolution were necessary to create life as is. The other points to a literal, beautiful, six-day creation brought forth by the hand of the Almighty. If the Bible is true, then death only entered this world through the sin of one man. This theological truth means that death did not exist for millions of years before Adam was created. Therefore, every single living creature must have shared the young earth in the very beginning of time. This includes the mighty, majestic, and often terrifying dinosaur species that once roamed the ancient landscape. To truly understand their life and purpose, we must look back before the great flood of Noah. The antediluvian world of Noah was vastly different in its climate and environment than our own today. Scripture speaks of a firmament, a specific expanse placed high above the surface of the Earth's atmosphere. A layer of water or ice that was suspended in the upper atmosphere, creating a protective shield. Imagine a planet shielded by a massive and protective canopy that altered the very nature of light. This canopy effectively blocked the harsh, damaging radiation of the sun from reaching the surface of Earth. It created a perfect global greenhouse environment with incredibly high oxygen levels that promoted massive growth. The atmospheric pressure was likely double what we experience today, allowing life to flourish in every corner. Under these specific conditions, life did not just survive. It flourished beyond the scope of modern imagination. Both the flora and the fauna grew to incredible sizes that are simply impossible in our world. Ancient records suggest that human beings lived for many hundreds of years during this prehistoric golden age. This extreme longevity was a direct biological reality of the perfect environment provided by the water canopy. It affected every living thing that breathed the air, from the smallest insect to the largest beast. Consider this fascinating biological fact. Most reptiles never actually stop growing as long as they are alive. Unlike mammals, which reach a certain size and stop, reptiles grow continuously throughout their entire natural lives. In our modern world, a common lizard might only live for 10 years before it passes away. But in the pre-flood world, it could live for many centuries, growing larger with every passing year. Imagine a common iguana living for 900 years in a high-pressure, oxygen-rich, and perfect world, growing steadily and without interruption in an environment that maximized its biological potential for massive scale. It would not stay small like today's reptiles. It would inevitably become a truly massive behemoth. A giant, scaly reptile that we now classify as a dinosaur in our modern scientific textbooks today. They were not mysterious prehistoric monsters from a lost age, but simply the giants of their time. They were the giant lizards of the antediluvian era, living alongside humanity as part of God's creation. But then came the great global cataclysm that changed everything on the surface of our planet forever. The fountains of the great deep broke open with unimaginable force, releasing subterranean waters into the atmosphere. The windows of heaven were cleared, the canopy fell as rain, and the world was utterly transformed. The vibrant world that once was perished under a global deluge, buried in layers of sediment and mud. This catastrophic event altered the Earth's environment forever, leading to the world we recognize around us today. Many people often ask, how could Noah possibly fit every kind of dinosaur on the wooden ark? It is a simple question of logic, mathematics, and careful preparation for the survival of all kinds. Noah was 600 years old and a master builder who followed the exact blueprints of God. You do not bring the largest, oldest, and most dangerous dinosaurs on a boat designed for survival. Common sense dictates that you would bring the babies or juveniles to ensure space and future growth. The largest dinosaur egg ever discovered is actually smaller than a standard American football in its size. Baby dinosaurs weigh significantly less and consume far less food than their massive, fully grown adult counterparts. They sleep more and have their entire breeding life ahead of them once they exit the ark. Noah only needed to bring 2 of every basic animal kind to repopulate the earth after flood. One single pair of the sauropod kind was all that was required to save that entire lineage. After the flood subsided, the survivors stepped out into a brand new world that was much harsher. The protective water canopy was gone, the air was thinner, and radiation from space was more intense. The lifespan of both man and beast began to plummet rapidly in this new and difficult environment. The giant reptiles struggled to adapt to this cold, harsh, and resource-poor climate after the floodwaters. Lush vegetation was now scarce, and the massive forests of the old world had completely vanished forever. Yet, these magnificent creatures did not simply disappear overnight into the dusty pages of our ancient history. History is filled with countless eyewitness accounts of what men throughout the ages called terrifying dragons. It is important to remember that the word dinosaur was not even invented until the year 1841. For thousands of years prior to that, they were known only as dragons in every culture worldwide. From the misty moors of England to the great imperial dynasties of ancient China and the East. Dragon legends are a consistent global phenomenon that points to a shared historical memory of these beasts. Are these stories merely myths, or are they the actual eyewitness accounts of our brave human ancestors? Alexander the Great reported seeing giant, scaly serpents living in the dark caves during his Indian campaign. His soldiers were reportedly terrified by these massive creatures that lived deep within the mountain cavern systems. Marco Polo traveled to China and described long-necked, four-legged creatures that lived in the Far East. He claimed they actually pulled the emperor's grand chariots in parades for all the people to see. In the mountains of Peru, ancient burial stones clearly depict men interacting with creatures resembling the Triceratops. These carved ICA stones show dinosaurs as a common part of daily life for that ancient civilization. In the depths of the Grand Canyon, native petroglyphs tell a clear story of what they witnessed. They show the unmistakable silhouette of a bipedal dinosaur carved into the very stone of the canyon walls. How could they draw them so accurately if they never saw them alive with their own eyes? The physical evidence strongly suggests that humans and dinosaurs coexisted in the same world for many centuries. They lived together until quite recently in our human history, before the modern age began to flourish. As human populations grew and expanded, these dangerous dragons were seen as a threat to be conquered. A hero who killed a dragon was celebrated by all for his bravery and for protecting society. They cleared the land to make it safe for cattle and kin, driving the beasts away forever. Through intense hunting and rapid climate change, the giants slowly faded into the dark corners of world. They were eventually driven into the deep shadows of extinction, leaving only their bones behind as evidence. Yet, the greatest evidence for their existence is found within the sacred pages of the Bible itself. In the book of Job, God speaks to a man from a great and powerful whirlwind. He points Job to look at a massive and powerful creature that he called the Behemoth. Some scholars claim this was a hippopotamus or a common elephant, but that simply does not fit. The physical description provided in the text does not match any modern beast we know of today. The scripture says, "He moves his massive tail like a great cedar tree swaying in the wind." A hippo's tail is small and insignificant. It is absolutely nothing like the branch of a cedar. Only a sauropod dinosaur has a tail of such magnitude and power to match that specific description. Behemoth is called the chief of the ways of God, a masterpiece of the Creator's divine handiwork. Then there is the Leviathan, the fire-breathing king of the sea that no man could ever tame. These are physical, literal descriptions of real, living giants that once inhabited the earth and the sea. Could some of these giants still be hiding in the remote and unexplored corners of our earth? From the deep Congo swamps of Africa to the silent, dark depths of the world's great oceans, reports of living fossils and mysterious sightings continue to surface in our modern world even today. The message these giants leave behind is profoundly clear to anyone with the eyes to see it. The Earth is a masterpiece of purposeful, divine design, created by a God who loves his creation.